German blackened deathcore band Mental Cruelty has returned with a new vocalist and 2 new singles, ushering in the next era of the band, and their future looks very bright. These are my thoughts. As usual, the music is in the description below. Several months ago, Mental Cruelty fired ex-lead vocalist Luca Schmerler for alleged predatory behavior. The months that followed, the band held open vocal auditions and eventually recruited Sun Eater vocalist Lucas Nicolai, and the band completely outdid themselves with their choice. Lucas definitely fills the void left behind by Luca, but also brings his own identity and dynamic without sounding like a carbon copy. Lucas definitely has a lot more range, which complements the new sound the band is employing now. Mental Cruelty has always been a deathcore band to their very core, but their earlier records were more in the realm of slam metal, or just a more extreme form of deathcore, with black metal overtones. Their previous record, A Hill to Die Upon, brought a more symphonic black metal sound to their already present deathcore sound, which brought them into a very niche style of deathcore. The 2 new singles are Zweilicht and Symphony of a Dying Star. Zweilicht, which is German for Twilight, is a poem written and sung in German by guitarist Marvin Kessler and serves as an opening track that leads right into Symphony of a Dying Star. The same elements from A Hill to Die Upon continue to persist in Symphony of a Dying Star, but this time the band has brought in more melodies and harmonies to temper the edges of their sound, and it is great in every way. The symphonic black metal elements are pushed harder alongside melodic death metal elements, with the deathcore elements being more of a supporting factor, with Nordic folk overtones. There is a lot more riffage this time, more melodic notes, and it channels so much more atmosphere than it did before. Another new thing that was brought in, that was never a factor in any other Mental Cruelty album, is the presence of clean vocals. While I love clean vocals, the presence of clean vocals in deathcore seems against the grain, unless they are done right. But because of the new sound, the presence of the cleans kind of fits. The cleans are short-lived, as they should be in a deathcore song, and I think it adds an interesting dynamic to the sound. Lyrically, both Zweilicht and Symphony of a Dying Star are surprisingly positive for a Mental Cruelty song. While Mental Cruelty's lyrics didn't have narrative, their lyrics kind of fell flat at times. But A Hill to Die Upon did have a very cohesive narrative, despite the lyrics occasionally falling off a bit. I'm not sure who the main songwriter is or how much of an influence Luca had on the lyrics, but I do wonder how the lyrics will evolve going forward. As I said previously, Zweilicht is a poem written and sung in German by guitarist Marvin Kessler. The song translates as follows, quote, "The light of night turns black, a last ray hits me, my greatest enemy, my own mind, shadow and head of poison. A veil tightly wraps itself around me. It robs me of breath and strength. Hard ground, miserably soft. My light is now deaf." End quote. According to the band, Zweilicht is about, as the band describes it as, quote, "the demon known as depression," end quote, and how it can take over one's life. Symphony of a Dying Star is about, as the band explains, quote, "a wanderer in a wintry landscape. All life around him seems to be trapped in hibernation and eternal ice, while a surreal feeling of deafness creeps up on him," end quote. The band continues, quote, "The winter itself serves as a metaphor for loneliness and the end of transience of life. At some point all things fade away, and it is the fate that will overtake us all once we are standing at the threshold of life and death," end quote. The band further went on to say that, quote, "The whole concept of the 2-track song is about letting go and dying to make place for a new start and a new beginning," end quote. This is something I wouldn't have expected from a band like Mental Cruelty. To see such a positive message from a band who primarily talked about dark subject matters shows the growth this band has presented with each record. The 2 new singles from Mental Cruelty showcase not only vocalist Lucas Nicolai, but the growth the band has achieved over the years, getting better with each new record and pushing their limits and trying out new things. But these 2 tracks may not be a clear representation of how the next album will sound, but it does give us a taste of what they have in store. I wait in eager anticipation for the upcoming record from Mental Cruelty. I want to see what these guys have up their sleeves and see the unbridled fury of their new vocalist. Their reign of darkness is only just beginning. What did you think of Zweilicht and Symphony of a Dying Star? What do you think of the new vocalist Lucas Nicolai? Put those down in the comments. I'd love to hear it. Okay, well that's that review. I've got a couple more in the pipeline as well. The next one I'm probably going to be doing is the next EP, or the next EP from Defamed. That's coming out at the end of the month, so I've got that coming. And there's another underground band that I came across that I should probably get around to doing as well. But I've got a couple more stuff in the pipeline, so I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.